Welcome to class, students. Today, we'll be looking at a very vital topic titled chemical hazards. Chemical hazard represents substances that can harm human health, property, or the environment through their inherent chemical or physical property. These substances fall into two main categories as health hazard that affect bodily function and physiochemical hazard that present physical danger through improper handling. So chemical hazard are these are something that can harm human health, they can harm your property or environment through their chemical or physical properties or features. And there are two main categories. We have the health hazard that can affect bodily function, and physiochemical hazard that can present physical danger through improper. So types of chemical hazard, we have the physical hazard. This include irritant and corrosive that damage tissues, sensitizers causing allergic reactions. We have carcinogens, mutagens and teratogens affecting cellular functions, various toxic substances with specific harmful effects. Physiochemical hazard, this includes the flammable material that ignite easily, explosive compounds, reactive substance that may become unstable. Source of chemical hazard, we have the industrial and manufacturing environment, environmental population in air, soil and water, food contamination during production or storage, common household products like cleaners and pesticide. So these are sources that can be formed or produced from industrial and manufacturing environment. Chemical hazard can be gotten from environmental pollution in the air, in the soil and also in the water. We have from food contamination during production or during storage. We have common household products like the cleaners, the pesticide, the rodenticide. These are examples of chemical hazard or sources of hazard of chemical hazard. Common examples of chemical hazard are asfixiants, reduce oxygen availability leading to suffocation. Corrosives, break down living tissues on contact. Irritants, cause localized inflammation of skin and mucous membranes. Flammables, present fire risks. Toxic substances, cause poisonings and other systematic effects. Health effects of exposure, exposure can result in acute effects and chronic effects. The acute effects appear immediately after exposure, while the chronic effects developing gradually with repeated exposure. So acute effect, there's an immediate, you can see the immediate effect of it after exposure, while the chronic one is a accumulated one. It will accumulate before you start seeing the effect on the individual. So importance of safety measures against chemical hazard. Protection strategies include using appropriate personal protective equipment, that is PPE. So such as masks, gloves, goggles and other protective gear can reduce exposure risks. Safe handling procedures, proper storage, labeling and disposal of chemicals are crucial. Engineering controls, ventilation system, isolation techniques and other engineering solutions can minimize exposure. Hazard communication, providing information about chemical hazards to workers through labels, safety data sheets and training programs. Effect of chemical hazard. Chemical agents can cause various harmful effects on human health through different mechanisms. We have the asphyxiation, reducing or preventing oxygen intake. This asphyxiation is an example of chemical hazard and its effect is it reduces or prevents oxygen intake. Another is systematic intoxication, that is poisoning that affect multiple body systems. Then we have the pneumoconiosis. That is a lung disease from inhaling dust particles. Then we have the cancer development, formation of malignment growth. There is always growth, there will be growth, then which is cancerous. Then irritation, that is inflammation of tissue upon contact. We have mutagenicity, that is damage to genetic material. We have the teratogenicity, harm to the developing fructosis. So these are these. We have the activation, systematic intoxication, pneumoconiosis, cancer development. Another effect on of chemical hazard, we have irritation, we have the mutagenicity and we have the teratogenicity. Solvent categories. Solvents are materials that dissolve other substance and include aqueous system, that is water based. And as examples are the acid solution, alkaline solutions, detergent solutions. These generally present lower inhalation risks due to proper vapor pressure. Non-aqueous system. Examples are the aliphatic hydrocarbons, aromatic hydrocarbons, halogenated hydrocarbons and cyclic hydrocarbons. Factors affecting solvent hazard severity. Factors affecting solvent hazard severity. The health risks from solvent exposure depend on multiple factors: usage methods, job operation determining exposure route, work patterns, exposure duration, operating temperatures, body surface area exposed, ventilation effectiveness, airflow patterns, vapor concentration levels, then workplace cleanliness. Dangerous chemical substance classification. We have the corrosive hazard, substance that destroy living tissue and equipment upon contact. Caution: avoid breathing vapours and preventive skin eye clothing contact. Then we have the oxidizing hazard, materials that ignite combustible substance or in ten sify existing fires. Caution: keep away from combustible materials and restrict smoking in the area. We have the harmful hazard, substances hazardous to us when inhaled, injected and absorbed through skin. Caution: avoid body contact including vapor inhalation, consult a doctor if feeling unwell. We have very toxic or toxic hazard, extremely dangerous substance that may cause death when breathed, swallowed or contacted. Caution: prevent all body contact, seek immediate medical at ten tion if exposed. Then we have the irritant hazard, materials causing irritation to skin, eyes and respiratory system. Caution: avoid vapor inhalation and prevent skin and eye contact. We have another one, highly flammable hazard, substance with flash point flow 60 degree Celsius, that's 140 Fahrenheit. Caution: keep away from all ignition sources. Explosive hazard, materials that may explode under specific condition. Caution: avoid shock, friction, sparks and heat exposure. Chemical hazard evaluation. We have the toxicity assessment, analyzing inherent harmful properties of substance. We have work activity and risk assessment, the control effectiveness assessment, exposure monitoring, that is measuring actual exposure levels, improvement recommendation, suggesting enhanced safety measures, monitoring chemical hazard exposure. Chemical exposure level can be effectively monitored through various methods. We have the specialized instrumentation using infrared absorption, photoionization, photoionization detectors and gas chromatography. Detector tools providing using virtual indication of exposure levels, hair sampling with laboratory analysis, professional evaluation. Engineering control of chemical hazard. We have the substitution, replacing high toxicity materials with safer alternative, process enclosure, designing system to minimize emission and exposure risks, local exhaust system, installing targeted ventilation to remove airborne contaminants. Ventilation design consideration, ensuring uniform airflow across hood openings, designing for appropriate capture velocity, providing sufficient makeup air, following ACGHI ventilation manual guideline for proper design. And then we also have exposure time reduction through improved work procedures, comprehensive worker training, personal protective equipment including gloves, face shield and respirators when necessary, remove handling techniques. Thank you for listening.